What is a spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening is your consciousness rising. It's your spirit waking up from its sleep here in the physical and remembering the true nature of what your spirit is, the non-physical, your soul and higher self. Before we were born, we know exactly why we're coming to Earth and who our spirit team is and how we have support and guidance from them during our lifetime. And we also know the events and situations we're coming here to experience, though we forget when we're born and as we move into this physical life. Each person will experience an awakening differently, though much of the process is similar. A spiritual awakening can happen at any moment in our life and at the least expected times. You can't plan for a spiritual awakening. An awakening can happen due to many events in our lives, such as death in the family, birth of a child, trauma, an accident, a spiritually transformative experience, major health issues, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on and on. There is always a hidden gift behind the many experiences we go through during the process of our awakenings. I had an inexplicable experience with the divine when I was 7, though that was very different than the awakening I had at the age of 36. Although I have always been on a spiritual journey, this latter spiritually transformative experience was different. This experience was more real than the physical world we live in. And within this experience, all of my non-physical senses opened up and expanded. I went through a spiritually transformative experience that helped me remember my true self, my soul, who I am, what my purpose is, and why I am here on earth. Over the span of 2 to 3 years, the anxiety I was going through at night, which would wake me up into a panic attack, was the purging I was going through, the opening and expansion of every physical and non-physical sense, and it helped me realize who I really am. It showed me how the world is a minuscule part of the universe we live in. And within that, each one of us is a light that is connected to everything and everyone, in the physical and non-physical. Behind these frightening experiences of anxiety and panic, and in hindsight, I now know the gifts that were buried within these events. I see that I purged so much of my conditioning, my fears, and the person I was because of who I thought I needed to be. I came to know the greatest peace and bliss I have ever known. I know that each one of us has the same infinite peace within us that is always there for us. I am human, and the physical part of me still goes through the ups and downs of life, though now I am able to understand and see events in my life and look at them like they're happening for me, not to me. I'm inspired each day to live a fulfilled life of unconditional love, empathy, compassion, and service to all. I'm not perfect, and I embrace my flaws. Being spiritual does not mean you have to be perfect, and going through an awakening does not mean that you are now done because you have found peace. Spirituality is a beautiful journey with events that we continue to experience, although after an awakening, the feelings, understanding, compassion, empathy, love, and realization is totally different, and you come from a completely open place within your heart. If you have experienced a spiritual awakening, you can see through the illusions of society and through those who are still living the life of chasing after power, money, fame, and respect in an attempt to find happiness. These souls always have a choice to remember who they are and why they are here. No one is ahead or behind anyone else in his or her spiritual journey. Everyone is doing the work they are here to do, and they are always receiving the guidance and support from God and their spirit team, even if they do not choose to notice it or acknowledge it. We are here to spread love, inspire others, give, share, go through experiences with grace and understanding, and with forgiveness. Prayer and meditation are two ways to start opening up to yourself, the divine, your angels, and your spirit team. Believing that there is an energetic force that intertwines each one of us, and going in with some ounce of positive curiosity is one step. After my experience, I had a profound realization that got me craving for something richer, deeper, and more fulfilling in my life. This came to fruition with so many amazing souls I have met throughout my spiritual journey and after my awakening. When we begin on a spiritual path, we think of it as something new that's come into our lives. Everything about this awareness is what your soul already knows. Nothing is new. Even though the soul has forgotten through living in this physical world with all of its conditioning, pressures, and experiences of life. We wake up from the illusions of what our lives on earth are really about and how they are for us to learn, expand, and remember who we are. We wake up to the knowing from and through our souls, and we receive the wisdom that we all have within us already. The realization automatically comes through you that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is one of the enlightening moments that are special and miraculous. When you wake up from the illusions of the world, when you start experiencing deep empathy and compassion, when you start deeply understanding who you are, when you see more synchronicities happening in your life, when you have more wonder and curiosity, and when you feel the unconditional love we all truly have for one another and see the universe and everything in it as one. It is then you understand that you are awake and on this joyful and adventurous journey. There are so many signs that you are going through a spiritual awakening, and I will list some of these now. You start feeling as though you weren't yourself, and now you are. You want meaning and purpose in your life. You begin asking deeper questions. You desire deeper conversations. Your intuition is heightened. There are more synchronicities that happen around you and for you. You feel lost at times and alone because others do not understand you. You see through the illusions of society. Some conversations seem shallow. You feel like purging your life. You can feel and see how unhappy people are, and you experience depression or anxiety as a release. You start to love unconditionally. You are curious and excited about life. You are aware of your negative habits and conditions. You experience deep compassion and empathy for everyone. You are happy with yourself and being alone. You see all living things as interconnected with everyone. Sometimes you want to change or quit your job. You desire authenticity and truth. You want to help the world be a better place. You realize that we are all interconnected and we are all one.